I'm Coach Larry, a video expert from the San Francisco Bay Area. I've spent over 2 decades crafting video content for these companies that you may have heard of. I teach busy and resourceful entrepreneurs how to effortlessly create professional videos that attract their people who share their same values. At the top of every presentation, if you identify as an entrepreneur, content creator, solopreneur, the reality is the better you are at creating content that attracts your ideal audience, the more money you can potentially make. So let's jump right into it. It's time to talk about lighting. If you just want to get straight to the spoilers, you can find all my video equipment recommendations in my free PDF download about how to create your own DIY professional video studio. It's a checklist. Link in the description to sign up and download it for free. The big question is, and I think a lot of people ask this question honestly, is why do you need lighting? And I'm sure many content creators or even video production beginners and filmmakers, they ask that because cameras are really good these days. You can just turn it on and it looks and hit record and an image will look great, right? So technically you don't need extra lighting. With any camera and natural sunlight, you are more or less good. It's basically good enough, as in the images is going to be fine. But you're here, let's be honest, right, folks? Because you don't necessarily want just good enough. Good enough is fine for social media posts, for an Instagram reel or something like that. But say you're trying to sell a product or showcase a demo of a product you're creating, maybe something like a video pitch deck to get investors interested, and you're trying to get investors interested to spend a very substantial amount of money. Do you really want to settle on good enough? Personally, I don't think so, right? That's my hunch. You tell me. Honestly, you won't really be able to level up any kind of video making skills until you explore lighting, even with just one single light. Let's focus primarily on 3 types of lights: LED panels, ring lights, and single source lights with softbox attachments, otherwise known as COB lights, chip on board lights. These cover a broad range of needs and are ideal for different scenarios. All these can be used to manipulate the direction and intensity of output to give you different looks. When you're choosing your lights, think about portability, color temperature, and light intensity. These factors will greatly influence your ability to adapt to various shooting environments quickly and efficiently. When you get a light that can be used in many scenarios, it becomes a good investment overall. If you're needing lights for a more static setup in your home or office, but on occasion you might do like a podcast or an interview in a different space, then you can count on things like the ability to change the color temperature on the light to match with a different room's ceiling lights, or setting up a lightweight small panel in a small office space if you're doing an interview that's going to be in an office that's not that big. At the very least, the light you choose should allow you to control the color temperature and intensity of the light, which pretty much all lights do these days. I like to keep things super simple, my friends. Light settings for a complete beginner can sound like a foreign language, but once you master these few essential settings, you can guarantee predictable quality lighting. So generally speaking, daylight is 5600 Kelvin. So not always, but it's mostly 5600 Kelvin. And if you want to simplify your lighting setup, then stick to 5600 Kelvin for mimicking daylight. Most indoor office or home lighting is typically in the range of 4600 to 3200 Kelvin. If you want to have your main light on your subject's face match the lights in the room, which are referred to as practicals in the filmmaking lingo, then adjust your light to either 4600 or 3200 Kelvin for indoor settings. That way you'll always match common lighting conditions found in homes and offices. You want to set the lights to 4600 or 3200 Kelvin based on what the interior lights are. But these days also a lot of lights tend to be in the daylight 5600 range. You can also shut off all the interior lights and just rely on the video light itself. By focusing on these simple color settings and matching them with your camera settings, you're going to maintain consistency across your shoots, reduce setup time, and enhance your final product's quality. Keeping it simple is going to help you your shoots be faster and more efficient. And most content creators are able to just turn on their cameras and lights once they have their settings just dialed in. Efficiency to me is so important, especially if you're creating content on a tight schedule. So a really important question is, what should I even look for? Now let's get into a little bit of how to light the face. It's easier to understand when I can show you examples. So generally speaking, back to this picture here, it's fine to mix natural light with outdoors light coming in from a window with soft artificial lighting. This light, the softbox you can see here. This gives your image a sense that you're in the room surrounded by windows, and it's not going to be too contrasty of an image, and it's going to be overall very inviting and pleasing to look at. If the focus of your content is you or a different person speaking to camera, you typically want to go for the classic Hollywood V lighting on a face characterized with the V shadow under the cheekbones. In this example, the room has to be really dark in order to achieve this high contrast ratio. High contrast ratio is basically the difference in brightness between the lit parts of the face versus the shadows. Here is the V when it is more subtle. And again, our friend Mr. Gosling here, it's more subtle on his face. So, quick plug here. If this has at all been helpful for you, please join me live every Wednesday at noon Pacific time to ask me anything about video production. Register using the link in the description or by scanning the QR code, and you'll instantly get my free DIY Make Your Pro Studio Checklist PDF. It comes with a comprehensive shopping list of all the equipment you need to create professional level video content. Plus, you'll stay in the loop about my weekly Ask Me Anything live streams, and I'll have plenty of reminders and exclusive updates. Now, if you have any questions about video production, definitely put them in the comments. I am actively monitoring them. Your questions are going to help guide me on what future content to make that is going to help get you a quick win so you can start making professional quality content ASAP. And I really appreciate you joining and sticking around. Bye.